It's a new generation built out of his creation. It's our way of life, we're doing right, that's right. Won't you take a little ride on down to the hunting grounds?
Alright guys, welcome back to another vlog. Out here on the edge of Rebel Hill, we are fixing to do another prescribed burn, but we're doing a timber burn this time. So we got the area here that I want to talk a little bit on after the burn, but this is the area that I'd hinge cut, and I've done a hack and spray in here, and I've killed out a lot of the trees and left a lot of the mature producing trees in here. And we just did a burn here on the back side of this yesterday, but what we're doing is basically burning this draw. I have bedding on both sides that I'll walk you guys through and show you what I've been doing on creating this area, but by coming in and doing the burn, it's a year after I've done all this cutting, it's going to allow all this growth to come in. So it's a perfect day to burn. We got to get the burn called in and get ready to go and light this thing up. Alright, start down here. Alright, so we have finished burning this area. It's just this big draw through here. Not really for sure how large of an area it is. It's probably every bit of at least 5 acres. You can see it's got this more of a northern slope here, and then this whole south facing slope on the back side. That back side I'd gone through after the loggers had come in here 2 years ago and cut a lot of big mature trees that were just trees that I didn't want in there. A lot of blackjacks and elms and stuff like that, and I laid them over so that hillside's extremely exposed over there, but it just had a lot of debris and fuel on it and those big tree tops because I did cut them when they were green. So I wanted to get in there and burn that so that all that sun that's hitting on that hillside would grow up into some undergrowth. And then on this hillside, this is the area, if you guys remember, probably last year I put a video out there on YouTube, came in here, I not only did a hack and spray in here, but I did a hinge cutting as well. So I kind of tried to not leave so many trees down on the ground, so I went through and selectively hack and sprayed a lot of these trees. You can see back here there's a hickory that's cut here, I got a hickory that's hinge cut here, and then in this area got a hinge cut white oak, dogwood, another dogwood. It's all kind of falling over on each other to kind of create this kind of canopy area. And so went in here with kind of the 1-2 punch of using a hack and spray and the hinge cutting method in here, and then finally a year later was able to come in and put that knockout punch in here and actually come in and burn in this area. So all this sun that's going to be coming in here this spring is going to be the first spring where the sun's going to be penetrating through this canopy, hitting this ground, and it's going to have all this exposed soil because we've burnt a high majority of it. I would say we burnt probably at least 80 to 90% of this area burnt really, really well. So I'm super happy with it. It's doing extremely well. Excited to show you guys how this turns out over the next few weeks as things start really, really greening up. And I know it's going to be a killer spot to hold deer. It is a smaller property. We're right about 100 acres, but it's a very narrow 100 acres. It's a long, narrow piece, and so trying to get these deer to hold on this property, to hold close to these food plots is a challenge. Up here just north of me, we do have the food plot that's down along my driveway. It gets hit by deer really heavily, does and bucks both. This food plot here on Rebel Hill, we get a lot of younger bucks and a lot of does in here. So really what we're trying to do is just trying to centralize these deer, keep these deer between these two food plots. So they're holding up in this area, they're bedding in this area. We get out to hunt, we don't have to wait till the very last moment for these deer to finally make it to the destination of the food plots. They're going to be bedded up close, hopefully give us longer viewing time of watching deer and seeing deer in the food plots. So super excited about this. It just looks really good. You know, it's getting close where we are probably going to have a lot more time to burn. Just conditions are getting that way. So we were able to get in here this weekend and do some burning back here behind me and in this area here. So all together, at least burnt 7 to probably 10 acres in here, which is pretty huge on this property. So maybe next week we'll get out here and burn a little bit more. But it all went really well. We had really large burn breaks set up on these trails. We had one burn break was actually the driveway. The other one was an old logging trail, a four-wheeler trail slash, and then same with this other side here. So it was easy burn. Called it in and things couldn't have gone any smoother. So we're done, and now we just need nature to do its thing. So we need it to warm up, we need some rain, and then I'll update you guys on how green this is and how it's holding the deer in here. One thing I didn't mention is if you can see back behind me here, I did come in right before this burn and did a heavy cut of like any cedars. I think I've left like 3 or 4 cedars in this whole area. I cut a ton of them out in this area because sunlight is coming through, and these cedars take up a ton of sunlight and just resources, period. If you've ever sat underneath a cedar in a rainstorm, you can know that it can be raining pretty heavily and none of that rain is going to hit you. So went ahead and cut those out before we did the burn. That way they would burn a good little bit. Some of them didn't burn that much, but they are laid down. So overall this area looks awesome. So if you guys would, make sure you subscribe so you don't miss any of our videos. Comment down below what you're doing on your hunting grounds. Give a big thumbs up, and until next time, have a better than average day.
Won't you take